I want to talk about, in general, how I've removed negative thinking and negative thoughts and kind of change my mindset when it comes to pursuing anything big. Take this exact channel, for example, kind of trying to get to $1 million on YouTube. Very few people have done it. And of course, I'm very transparent on this channel about the earnings so far. And the techniques I'm going to give you in this video are things that I've used in my own personal life, not just for making money, but anything. If I'm pursuing DJing, electronic music, YouTube, acting, parkour, or fitness related stuff, pretty much anything. And these are things you can use in your own life as well. And I think the thing I want to say when it comes to this video, when it comes to removing negative thoughts or negative thinking, pessimism, how to word it, limiting beliefs, all these kind of things we hear about in a lot of like self-help books or whatever, is the goal is not get rid of them, it's to accept them, but then also flip them or change them. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm going to say right in the beginning of this video, because I think when it comes to pursuing anything big, any big dream, it's almost inevitable you're going to have some doubts. And I do want to say that I think a good sign, and not to sound cheesy or philosophical, but I do want to mention it, I think a good sign of a good dream is when you have some doubt. Like if my goal on this channel was, I'm going to call this the $10,000 experiment. Is it possible to make $10,000 on YouTube? Yeah, I mean, I've actually already done it. Yeah, that's not that crazy to me. Even $100,000 isn't something that I think is that preposterous. I mean, there are some YouTubers who make $100K in like a day or whatever, or a few days or whatever, right? Not that preposterous, but that weird. But $1 million is such a big number where I'm like, ooh, is it even possible? Is this channel just gonna be a bit of like an odd thing where I'm walking up an infinite hill that I just never reach the top? But I think that's a good mindset to have, that any big dream, I saw this quote somewhere sometime, that have dreams so big that they scare other people or small-minded people because of how big they are, right? So I do want to say that the goal is not to remove negative thoughts, and sometimes by having big dreams or big goals, you have to accept that these negative thoughts are inevitable. And one perspective from cognitive behavioral therapy is a 3-step process of catch it, check it, change it. Basically, first off, acknowledge that you're having a thought. 2, analyze that thought. And then 3, change it. And I think this is important because sometimes you have something, I've heard some researchers call this like an ant or an automatic negative thought. They'd like, say when you're pursuing something, sometimes it's very easy to be like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm trying to lose 50 pounds. I don't know if I can do it. I'm trying to make $1 million on YouTube. I don't know if it's possible. So the first thing is to catch it, because it can be very, very easy, almost too easy sometimes, to go on autopilot. Like there's one thing I heard one time from a therapist who said, sometimes we feel good about feeling bad about ourselves, and that's okay, but just acknowledge it. There are some people who become, if I'd even use this word, addicted to the feeling of self-pity. Like, see, I knew I was never going to make it. I knew I was never going to be able to lose 50 pounds. I knew I was never going to be able to do X, Y, Z. And you almost start to feel good about feeling bad for yourself, right? So the first thing we do is catch it. Acknowledge that you're having that thought. The second thing to do is, once you kind of like catch it, check it, and analyze it. And I think a big thing I say when it comes to analyzing it is to never run away. I think this is a big thing I noticed for a lot of people. Look at it, I guess, as an example, similar to like a panic attack. For some people, or one of the, I think, most common approaches initially with a panic attack is to be like, no, I'm not nervous. I'm fine. And you try to like run from it, and it gets worse and worse. The best thing you can do with, like, say, a panic attack or whatever is just acknowledge me. Like, you know what? I am feeling anxious. Feeling a bit nervous. I'm feeling X, Y, or Z. So not only do you want to catch the thought and become more aware of your thoughts, and I think this is the biggest thing when it comes to removing self-doubt, negative emotions, limiting beliefs, etc., is to become aware of your thoughts, positive or negative. That you can kind of almost separate yourself from them, because you are not your emotions. You are not your thoughts. And I think sometimes people think that they're one of the same. I know I'm getting a bit like philosophical or psychological, but it is true, right? And I think we have to realize that we are still human at the end of the day. We're still, like, prone to flaws, and sometimes our brains do go on autopilot, and our brains are far from perfect. We all know this. Look at optical illusions, for example. And the optical illusion, I think, is a really good analogy or good example, because I know when I see an optical illusion, my brain is being fooled and tricked. Just like a magic trick almost. But I have the cognitive awareness to separate myself. Be like, you know what? I know I'm seeing this thing. I know it's not real, this weird illusion I'm seeing, and I can separate myself from it because I'm not the thought of being fooled. I'm not the person being tricked in a sense, if that makes sense. So a big thing in terms of having these thoughts, negative thoughts, is to separate yourself from your thoughts. You are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, and to have that kind of separation allows you to analyze them in a very, if I use this word, objective way. To look at it from afar and be like, all right, I'm feeling nervous, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling doubt, I'm feeling like I can't do it, I'm feeling negative, I'm feeling like I'm not worth enough. All these different things. So the first thing, catch it. Next thing, check it. So analyze it, look at it. Like say for me on this channel, to use an example, like say I have a thought of like, man, is this channel even worth it? So these thoughts may start to kind of pop into my head. And after kind of looking at it or observing it, to catch that thought, look at it objectively. And be like, you know what though? I'm not my thoughts. I'm not in my emotions. I'm going to check the thought and acknowledge it. I think a big thing I see a lot, which kind of like, if I'd even use this word as toxic positivity, crazy as it is to say, where I'm like, you know what? I can't just be like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm good. Everything's fine. I think it's important to be like, you know what? I'm going to acknowledge this thought. I'm going to observe it. I'm not going to try to wallow in it and sit and sulk for 20 minutes about how negative I feel, but I'm going to acknowledge I'm having a thought. I'm going to catch it and then check it. I'm going to check that thought and acknowledge it. And I think this is kind of like a balancing act of not immediately running from it. Not immediately being like, no, I'm fine, because that can be a bad approach, similar to having a panic attack. But also, you don't want to sit there and just be like, yeah, you know what? I am pretty bad at losing weight. I am pretty bad at making music. I'm pretty bad at acting. Maybe I'm never going to make it in the acting world. Maybe I'm never going to get that job. All these different things. So you want to have this thing of acknowledging it in an objective way by saying, you know what? I'm having this negative thought. And that's okay. People have negative thoughts. Your goal, again, isn't to not have negative thoughts. That's like saying, I don't want anything bad to ever happen to me ever. That's not realistic, right? But it's not about having the negative thoughts. It's about how you deal with them. And so I think the next kind of step, like I said, after you catch it, is to check it and acknowledge you're having a negative thought. Then the next thing to do is change it. You want to kind of flip it on its head, switch it up. So like I said, if you have like that ant, the automatic negative thought, sometimes it can almost become a reflex. And I've seen this in a lot of people, maybe you have as well, that like say someone's trying to do something bad happens. They're trying to lose weight, and then all of a sudden they slip up and they have a huge piece of cake. And next thing they know, they're going down this rabbit hole spiral, being like, you know what? I knew it. I knew I could never lose weight. Like, I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. And they start then wallowing in it because, like, to be honest, for a lot of people, it becomes this classical conditioning, almost Pavlov dog situation of them feeling bad about themselves starts to feel good. They start to become addicted to the feeling of feeling bad about their situation, their goal, that they're not going to make it, whatever the case is. And so a big thing to do is nip it in the bud. If, like, say, I'm having a negative thought, like, I don't know if I can do X, Y, or Z, I acknowledge it. I'm not going to run from it, but I'm also not going to sulk in it. I'm going to acknowledge it, like, yeah, I'm having a negative thought, but you know what? I've already made this much on YouTube. Yeah, you know, to use an example, do I think I can make $1 million on YouTube? I don't know. Maybe this whole video idea, maybe this whole YouTube idea of all these videos, maybe it's stupid. Maybe this channel is a stupid idea. I don't know. And I'm like, you know what? I'm having this negative thought. Like I said earlier in the video, I have a big enough dream where actually that's a good sign because my dream's so big, trying to make $1 million on YouTube, documenting everything. No one's ever done this on YouTube. No one's ever documented from the get-go, from monetization of each penny, literally penny that we made. Literally, I'm showing you, we're documenting from literally $0 all the way up to $1 million. No one's really ever done that on YouTube. This has never been done. So it makes sense that I might have negative thoughts. I'm acknowledging that. I'm also acknowledging that this is actually a pretty big goal. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But then I have to then change it to kind of not let myself sulk, not classically condition myself in a negative way. Then I want to nip it about say, you know what? Yeah, maybe this is unrealistic, but how cool is it going to be when I'm going to get there? Or, yeah, maybe it's unrealistic, but look, I've been a full-time YouTuber for 10 years. I've been living off my YouTube income and music income and all the things that I'm doing personally, my own self-employment career, the Vachero project, as I call it. I've been living off all that for the past 10 years. I'm also very good at YouTube. I've posted about 2,000 videos. I've gone viral with some of my music and videos. I have gotten recognized in person. I do get recognized in person a good amount. So these are the kind of things that you want to then switch up and give yourself positive things to replace it with. So that's a big thing. And when it comes to, and this is a process too. This is kind of like, think of it like when it comes to working out. Like, if let's say, and let's be honest, for me, I'm huge into fitness. I love working out. But there are some days I wake up, I'm like, man, I don't feel like going to the gym. And then I'm like, no, we're going. We're going. And then I go to the gym, right? It is that kind of thing that over time, maybe in the beginning, it might be hard. Your mind might resist them. You might, let's be honest, want to just sit there and feel bad for yourself. Because right now it feels good. And you're conditioned to feeling good about feeling bad, if that makes sense. And in the beginning, you might resist it. Your mind might even be like, dude, just like trying to lose weight. You might be like, let's just have that piece of cake as opposed to the salad. Like, because you're so used to this pattern that you've already built up. But the more that you do this, the more that you basically interrupt that negative thought, acknowledge it, accept it, and be like, okay, I'm acknowledging I'm having this negative thought after reviewing it, because you're separating yourself from the thoughts. You're not running from it, but you're accepting it. But then you're going to switch it up, being like, I don't know if I could lose 50 pounds. Wait, you know what? I get that I'm having this thought that I don't think I can lose 50 pounds. But let's be honest. I've already lost 5 pounds. I'm actually on the way there. Now I actually only have to lose 45 pounds. I've also changed all my eating habits. And you start giving yourself all these positive things that you're doing. You're giving yourself positive reinforcement or encouragement to kind of prove to yourself, like, yeah, I'm actually doing well. And I think losing weight's a good thing when it comes to this, because it found a lot of studies. I think Atomic Habits have talked about this. The Kaizen method has talked about this. That when you set mini goals and acknowledge that you succeed at mini goals, it actually is something that your brain responds very positively to. So let's say you're trying to lose 50 pounds and you just lost 5. Dude, you only have 45 left to go. Again, still big, but you're on your way there. Take this channel. There's a reason why I want to create these milestones. So if you look in the description, you can see all the milestones and the exact dates that we've had each milestone thus far. Granted, as you can imagine, the gaps between each milestone get bigger and bigger. And so I think it's important sometimes to, in any way you can, to give yourself positive reinforcement and to take that negative thought, once you acknowledge it, once you accept it without sulking in it, to be like, you know what, let me replace that with either it's reasonings, like just straight facts, like, hey, I've already lost 5 pounds. Or maybe just positive things in general, like, you know what though, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I feel good about myself, like however you want to kind of flip it. And the more that you do this, the more that, one, those negative thoughts might not appear as much. In general, those negative thoughts might not appear as much. But then two, and I think more important than that, you don't sulk in them. Because like I said so many times throughout this video, and I have to kind of conclude at this one point, the goal is not to have negative thoughts, is to know how to handle them. And the best way to handle them is to acknowledge them, but then replace it with a positive thought to remind yourself, yeah, I am going to have negative thoughts, but look how far I've come, and look how far I'm going, and look what I'm about to accomplish.